7th July 2023. I came back home to find rooms ransacked, previously closed doors open, cupboard doors open, clothes on the floor, jewelry missing.
There has been a robbery.
We never expect such a robbery within one day.
All gold ornaments were missing. I am R. Balasubramonian here.
I am Savithri. We are the owner of the house.
We arrived in India for my brother's Upanayam, which was successfully held on 5th July. We lived at my grandparents' house in Thiruvananthapuram, and for the function, my grandmother and we went to the bank locker to get some ornaments, gold ornaments to wear, and we were planning to keep it back after the event was over. But once we returned home on 5th, the bank had closed. So on 6th morning, we thought of keeping it back, but we had to leave our house at around 8 o'clock to go for a temple pilgrimage to Tiruchendur. But the bank opens at 9:30, so we couldn't keep it back at that time. So we decided we'll come back on 7th evening and then we'll keep it back in the locker.
On the 7th of July, around 12 p.m., we returned back from our pilgrimage, and I was helping get the luggages out of the van.
When I entered the house, I saw a box of ornaments, artificial ornaments, in the center table. I thought that somebody has kept. Then my husband, he called me, come to our room.
All my dresses are scattered here and there, and there is a sign of some theft.
Immediately, I called the police emergency number.
Within half an hour, they came.
The dog squad did come in, and it sniffed, but it ran only till the junction. We had two fingerprint experts and a photographer from the police who were with us for probably 6 to 7 hours that day, from about 1 p.m. till close to 8 p.m. So they were continuously working without rest, ensuring that they capture each and every fingerprint. And as luck would have had it, there were a few glass surfaces where those might be foreign fingerprints. When they got about 75 to 80 fingerprints, the same night they ran these fingerprints through the database to check for a match with a known criminal. They found the criminal. They were running search operations around the town, city, and places where he could have gone off to ensure that they track their movements. And from the person's details, they managed to get the tower location of where his cell phone was active, and they were able to corner him down. What they have also done is they looked at his behavior pattern. He was a known drug addict, so they knew of where he generally would go to purchase stash, and they put informers and informal shadow policemen in those areas to ensure that if he passes by, they could grab him. So he was tracked to a location where he would come to buy stash, and they tried to grab him, but he slipped away from their hand by wielding a knife and threatening. And so he switched, or he destroyed his old SIM cards, and he switched his address and went to an obscure lodging, and cell phone SIM being destroyed, they couldn't track him anymore. Again, his drug addiction came into the fore, so they knew one of his best friends who he used to frequent. So they had a shadow police person sitting right next to the friend at all times. And next time when this person called from a different phone number, that too, they were able to identify that this is the guy who was calling. So even though his friend tried to play smart and did not want to discuss anything in detail with him, the police understood, and they got this new number, tracked his cell tower location, and found where he was hiding this time. They used his friend to call the burglar and asked him to come over for a small party, and asked him to buy a bottle of liquor when he was coming back.
So he just came to party with a lot of cash, a little bit of gold, and a bottle of liquor. And the moment he entered, he was trapped.
So his name is Shafiq. He lives in a place called Valyadura, and he is a known criminal from a very young age. From the media, I understand he is about 30. When I met him briefly, he was totally out of his senses, so he was just blabbering nonsense. I went with the policeman just to see who this person was. So he asked the policeman whether I was the guy who he robbed, and then he just told me, "Njanana moshtichadu, pakshe njanalla moshtichu." He also did say that since he understood that we were from a Brahmin family, so he said, "Potiyanna, നിങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിൽ കുറച്ച് കാശില്ല, ഞങ്ങൾ കുറച്ച് എടുത്തോട്ടെ, എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്തത്?" At a later stage, they also arrested his accomplice, a woman whom he used to help sell some of the gold, and he had also transferred a sum of 300,000 rupees to her account as her commission.
Media has the power to craft stories through mere prompts.
For the first 3 days, we had a slew of stories coming in day in, day out.
വീടിനുള്ളിലേക്ക് കയറാനുള്ളത് ആദ്യം ഉണ്ടാകുന്ന ഒരു ഗ്ലാസ് വെച്ച ഡോറാണ്. ഇതും പൂർണ്ണമായിട്ടും പൂട്ടിയ നിലയിലായിരുന്നില്ല.
ഒരു പക്ഷേ മുകളിലത്തെ നിലയിൽ ഒരു അലൂമിനിയം ഫാബ്രിക്കേഷൻ ചെയ്ത ഒരു വാതിലാണ് അകത്തേക്ക് പ്രവേശിക്കാനുള്ളത്. അതിന്റെ കൃത്യമായ പൂട്ട് ഇടാതെ പോയത് കൊണ്ട് കള്ളന്മാർക്ക് സുഖമായി അങ്ങ് തള്ളി തുറന്ന് അകത്ത് കയറാൻ പറ്റിയോ എന്ന്.
The full story was not conveyed to the average listener.
Media is a boon at times, but I did have a problem at that time. Since they were chasing the stories, they gave scant regard to the people of the house or to the investigation in itself, not trampling the evidence. The first thing which police needed at that time was space and time to investigate properly. Media getting involved in the investigation was a problem. Police has used the modern technology. They have tracked cell tower locations, and they have used CCTV footages. So kudos to the team, all the technical team and the forensic team to help close this case in a very few days.
They are very sincere, doing work. So many police, DIGs, police inspectors, everyone cooperate for this.
So again, kudos to the entire police force.